Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Divine, and I am back with another New World video today. And I know it has been a while since I have posted a video at all, and unfortunately, there's been a lot of stuff that's been going on in real life. It has really caused me to not to have the time to do any YouTube stuff, unfortunately, but hopefully that will change by March. And it is all good stuff on my end. It just kind of stinks because it's made my YouTube put on the back burner. But don't fear, I do want to get back to it as soon as possible, and we'll start pumping out that content again. But I did want to give you guys a video today just to kind of explain my thoughts of the current state of New World, and see where your guys' thoughts are on the game as well. Alright, so before we get into the review here about the game, I want to give today's sponsor, BenQ, a big shout out. So while playing games, typically I like to have my room pretty dark, and this can lead to some weird issues, especially if I need to write something down or read anything. I find myself constantly trying to move whatever it is that I'm trying to read at the perfect angles so that I can see from the light coming off the monitor so I can read it kind of easily. And I've even been notorious about even opening up like a notepad all white so you maximize it so you can just read something. And now this is where BenQ has come in and sent me one of their new products, the screen bar, which is a light that goes on top of your monitor, and it gives you that perfect light right where your mouse keyboard, basically where your mouse pad likes to sit. And I was hesitant on agreeing to a sponsor video so quickly in my channel, but they told me that I could be open with my opinion about the product, and that is the only reason I accepted this. So real quickly, I do want to say that I've always seen these lights on other people's setups. Now, it might not have been BenQ's, but you travel around in the Reddit world, you'll see these in the battle station things. And honestly, I always thought they were going to cause like constant screen glares and not really be that much of help. And this is where actually can just say that I was completely wrong about all of that. So first of all, I want to tell you about my thoughts about when I first opened this thing up. And this thing is freaking awesome. So my first reaction to the product was how premium this thing felt. Like, it feels like a hefty boy. Like, you don't have some piece of junk kind of plastic thing. Like, this is all metal. So I really did not have any worries about the build quality. And I've always owned BenQ monitors, I think for probably about the last 10 years now, especially doing like the competitive gaming and things like that. I've always had that fast refresh rate, and BenQ usually always had a really good monitor. So I really was kind of excited to, add this to my BenQ monitor, and honestly, it's been a great combo so far. All right, and for features here, I want to talk about some of these buttons. Now, these buttons are easy to press. Like, there is no other way to explain this. Like, you don't have to worry about clicking some button and causing your monitor to rock back and forth or anything. Like, these are just the lightest tap of the finger, and the buttons will switch on or off. So you have a button to turn the light bar on and off. You have another one to actually change the color tone, so you can actually make it warmer or cooler depending on how you like the light color. We also have another button that adjusts the brightness, so you can make it dimmer or brighter just depending on how we're feeling that day. And then we also have an auto dimming feature. Now this thing's pretty cool. Like, it senses the light in the room and actually tries to find that perfect lighting for you. And for the most part, I feel like pressing that button has been about where I want my light to begin with. So props to BenQ on making like a pretty smart light bar to begin with. And moving right along into my thoughts. Now, I've had this screen bar up for about the past 2 weeks and been using it. Now, personally, I thought I was not going to use it that much. I thought, yeah, like if I'm reading a bill or something like that, or a book or anything like that, I might have it on for just a little bit. And I feel like as time has gone on, the more and more I find myself actually using this thing, which is pretty awesome. It's definitely nice not having to go and like open up that notepad anymore. Like, I can just simply just tap the button, it turns on, and bam, I have all the light I'll ever need. Now, I will say, if you guys are on the fence about something like this, just try it. Like, I mean, most of these places have return policies. You can find this light bar on Amazon. You can find it from BenQ's website as well. And this thing costs $100, guys. Like, this is a pretty damn premium product. Like, you do not have to worry about getting a piece of junk here. Like, you are getting top quality. So, I can definitely say if you're on the fence, just pull the trigger, do it, try it out for yourself. You might be surprised on how beneficial this thing actually is for you. Now, from all the pictures and videos that you saw while I was telling you about this screen bar here, I will have links down below. I will also have links to BenQ's website, eStore, the Amazon link, and also their Twitter and Instagram. Now, if you guys end up having any questions about anything you see in my setup, feel free to comment down below. I'll be happy to help you guys out. Especially if you guys are interested or, still on the fence about this light bar, I'd be happy to answer any questions you guys have about that. So, again, just a big thanks to BenQ for sponsoring this video, and let's just continue right on. Alright, so let's get into the nitty gritty of what my thoughts are about this game. Now, this footage was actually recorded around prime time game hours, I would say about Central 5 o'clock p.m. or so. And as you can see in the world, it's basically dead. There's really not a lot going on here. There are a few people over here by the trading post, but it's like a night and day difference from when this game came out. And honestly, this is a big factor of kind of why I don't play much anymore. It's just because everything is just empty. Like, there's nothing to really be seen, which is a little bit sad at this current state. Now, unfortunately, this I could probably live with if this was the only issue with the game, but unfortunately, that is not the case. Now, the other big reason why I don't play anymore is endgame, because endgame is unbelievably boring to me, because you have to craft tuning orbs to go do any sort of dungeons, which there are large amounts of cooldowns on doing those dungeons, which, I could see where they were going to try to monetize this. You can sell the tuning orbs so you can go to these dungeons, but honestly, this is an MMORPG. Like, dungeons should be a huge part of the game. Like, you should be able to be running these quite often, not maybe 2 in a week if you're lucky. And, farming those mats can be very, very hard and difficult to do. Now, I know a lot of the endgame stuff we were told in the beginning and all that, this is something that Amazon wants to work on. They're going to continue to work on. And we've seen, bits and pieces of people saying endgame is going to be changing. And we've seen this with the gear score now changing over to expertise. So you no longer have the high watermark. You're going to have the expertise of that. And then to fix the server issues with the limited amount of people, we are already actually starting to see server mergers. Now, this can be actually pretty beneficial. I do like the idea of the server mergers as long as it kind of goes well, nobody loses any of their stuff, because even changing over to a different server, I used my free token to move over, and it basically screwed up my account for like a good week and a half, and it was really annoying. I couldn't add any friends. I had some issues with some of my gear that wouldn't go on. So with these mergers, I do hope everything goes pretty smoothly. And the other issue that I've been seeing quite a bit now is, and I think it's been resolved honestly, but it's a lot of weird visual bugs. Now, I've played on 2 different computers, and on my second computer, when I would load in, it would actually have just bits and pieces of the world deleted, and basically like orbs of where items should be, and it would just say like null and void, and then it would just randomly kick me out of the games. And I think it was because it thought I was hacking or some weird thing, but it was the game just bugging out. And I have seen miles and miles of complaints about this in the forums on Reddit, things like that. I think they've kind of stabilized. I don't feel like I see much anymore about performance, but I could be really wrong. I feel like mine on my main computer has been working pretty flawlessly, so I can't complain. And I don't really have much personal experience other than the issues when I play on my laptop where things were just missing for a while, but that seems to have corrected itself as well. And just quickly going back to the gear score farming and endgame content, this is what we had to do for a little bit. What you see on the screen is just fighting this monster, teleporting back, waiting for him to respawn, and then hopefully getting a drop from him. And honestly, to me, this is quite boring to try to get the 600 gear score. Now, with expertise, we may see some changes. I don't know. It's really up to the air right now, but hopefully we will see some better changes. Now, these are the most glaring issues that I've seen with New World so far, is just kind of the boring endgame stuff, a few performance issues, and just the dead worlds. Now, a little while ago, I had some of this footage as you're seeing now, where most people were up here trying to just gear score farm, so honestly, that was where you would see most people in the world, was right here, unfortunately, and that was just kind of sad. But does that mean that New World's dead? No, I don't think it does. Honestly, I see a lot of updates in the works that I think they're going to be working on. Hopefully they can revive this game and bring it back to kind of that excitement with the initial launch. Now, I don't think the game will ever be as big as it was. It's just, that's the way games work. People will flood in, play them for a little bit, get bored and never pick them up again. And then you're going to have like a good chunk of people that will keep coming back every time content is brought back in. And that's what we're going to be getting here shortly, is the winter event coming to New World, which I am a little bit excited for. Now, with this event, what we're actually going to be seeing is a giant Christmas tree. I believe they're going to be in each town. And it's basically, you're going to try to work to get these trees all lit up with, I believe, lights and decorations. So what they're doing is they're going to be scattering presents all around the world, and you're actually going to be able to pick these up and then bring them over to the Yeti to be turned into winter tokens, which can be spent, I believe, on new gear, which could be kind of cool. Now, in addition to this, there's actually going to be a special event at nighttime too, which is going to be called the Gleamite Showers, I believe. And it's going to be a random event where they will actually crash into the world and actually be a just, you know, event that you can go to. I'm not quite sure exactly what it's going to be, but I'm sure it's going to be something like a corrupted portal, but maybe not, you're not fighting corrupted. Then there's also going to be added caves around the world. So these caves, I believe they're supposed to have chests and all stuff like that. Now, one thing to note with these caves is, from what I've read, these caves will be staying after this event. So this is additional places that we can go after this event is even over. Now, I did mention that the Yeti is going to be there. You can turn those tokens in. There's supposed to be multiple ways to earn tokens. I believe even the Gleamite Shower random event is supposed to give you like presents or tokens or something like that that you can turn into that Yeti to hopefully get that new gear or something like that. And I believe in this update as well is when the high water mark is going to be changed to expertise. So that will be kind of interesting to see how that all works out. Then also we are going to be seeing 2 new zones that are going to have level 66 enemies with elite chests. Now, I'm not sure where these areas are going to be added, but they are supposed to be added into the game to add a little bit more endgame content for us. So that's kind of all I have right now to really talk about on New World. Like I said, I haven't really been super excited to play it all. I haven't really been playing much at all, especially with Halo coming out. I am a huge Halo fan, and I believe I'm going to start taking this YouTube channel to other games, because I do want to have a broad range of games on this channel that we're going to cover, review, you know, do live streams, things like that. But like I said, I have a lot of things going on right now in my personal life, so that's going to have to kind of wait probably for another month or two, especially with the holidays. I mean, everybody's busy, things like that. But don't worry, guys, I will be back with a vengeance. We are going to be playing so many different games, probably dabbling more into the FPS titles, because that is what is kind of my bread and butter, guys. I will be honest, that is where I excel. I do really enjoy doing like RPG, MMORPGs, but if you guys have any games that you think would be great for this channel, you want me to sit down, explain things, or figure out, you know, what the ideal methods of doing something, anything like I've done in the past videos on this channel, I would be very excited to hear about. I know you guys like some of the content I've put out in the past, and I really want to be doing this, into the future. It's just I need to, have that time in my life to be able to take the time to really make these videos, because I don't want to just rush a lot of these videos. I feel like even this video is kind of being rushed, and I'm not super thrilled with it, but I want you guys to be happy with the content I'm putting out. So if you have any recommendations, please feel free to put them in a comment down below. Now, if you like this video, please feel free to give me a thumbs up on this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.